Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talks. In this video I'm going to go through my game week 7 team selection. I'm going to talk about which players are going to make my starting 11, which players are left, who's going to be my captain this week, and also possible transfers that I could do. So if you enjoy this sort of video, as always, give it a like, hit subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. Let's take a look at how I did get on in game week 6. It feels like quite a long time ago, maybe because of all the action we've had in midweek and there are team updates and injuries and flags that have gone on players. But game week 6 was actually a pretty decent week for me. It was perhaps blighted by the fact that so many teams did so well. Onana got me a clean sheet, that was good. Got the saves bonus as well, was very close to getting bonus points, didn't, but thrilled that he got 7, turn on the bench, only got 1. I was never going to go the other way around. I brought Dan Burn in. Wow, I thought I was in dreamland when he scored early on against Sheffield United. Somehow negated by the fact that Botman scored. Trippier got those 3 assists. But hey, I can't complain. Can't complain when a player you just brought in for $4.5 million gets you 13 points away from home. So absolutely not. Chilwell was just another disaster. Estepinian never kept a clean sheet, but once again returned with an assist. And Saliba and Udogie, as expected, did not get anything from the bench, and that's why they were on the bench. In midfield, I feel this was did I get away with one? Well, maybe I just made a good decision, I think. I went for Saka over Odegaard. There was a conversation to be had about the fact that Odegaard was going to take the next penalty because he had the ball in his hand against Man United and then it was overturned. So did that mean he was going to get the next penalty? Luckily for me, I went for Saka just because I think he was probably more likely to take the penalty and his long-term beat on pens. He did, which was good news for me. He ended up with 13 points. Great. Sterling, once again. Chelsea just not doing the business. Foden was brilliant and Matoma was fantastic as well, coming off the bench. So it looked like a disaster with Matoma being benched, but he came up good and Odegaard got only 1 point, so that really helped me with that decision. Haaland, captain, he got 12 points, and then Alvarez I brought in. He was a kind of sacrificial lamb, as it were, when Rodri got sent off, so he only ended up with 1 point. Still don't regret the decision. And Jackson picks up another yellow card, so he is now suspended. And as you can see, not only I've got a green arrow, but we've got 4 flags on players at the moment. So that's not good news. It leaves me in a position where I've gone up about 200k, which was brilliant. But Matoma and Foden really doing a damage for me, which was fantastic. Foden, real differential for me, it felt, over the weekend. He went up something like 10% just on his score alone. I've got no money in the bank because I've made the exact money to get to Dan Burn. And when I went to Alvarez, I got 1 free transfer. Obviously got all my chips still. The money you see on the screen, that's the value of the players that I can transfer them out at. I'm even into game 7. This is how the side sets up. I've got Onana and Turner with decent fixtures, both of them. In defence, I've got some nice fixtures, but as you can see, a flag on Chilwell, a flag on Burn is concerned. We'll talk about that later on. Udogie has a difficult game, and Estepinian, Brighton, great going forward, just not keeping clean sheets. And then midfield, I've got Saka with a great fixture, but again, he's got a flag. Sterling, decent fixture, but it's Chelsea. Foden, rested midweek, hopefully he gets a start. And Matoma, again, he should start giving you a rest the other day as well. And up front, Jackson suspended, so he's not available. And I've got Haaland and Alvarez with decent fixture at Wolves. And I think I've just got to go with Haaland on the captaincy. So this is how the first 11 would line up, and I've got decisions to make after this. Onana in goal, pretty happy that he kept a clean sheet the other day. He's kept, 2 clean sheets now, so I'm okay with that. That's turning out to be a reasonable decision at the moment compared to what it could have been. So Onana keeps his place. Now I've got Saliba away at Bournemouth, absolute shoe-in. I just don't want to play Udogie away at home to Liverpool. I just don't think there's a clean sheet there for Tottenham. And Chilwell, he's got a hamstring injury, so he played 62 minutes in the cup against Brighton, came off, and Pochettino said, we'll have to assess it tomorrow. Waiting for team news on that. It looks like a hamstring injury. Now, I'm no expert, but hamstring injuries normally will take more than a few days to get over. So I just cannot see Chilwell making it, but we will have to wait and see. I could, and I felt like this has been the trap for the last 3 weeks. I could start him, and if he doesn't make it because he's got a hamstring injury, it's unlikely to start, so Burn would come in anyway. Well, Estepinian would come in anyway. But it feels like I've been down here before where you just, last few weeks I'm like, Chilwell will start. Chilwell, he has to start. He's just too good not to. and he's just not in the side, and he comes on, picks up yellow cards, gets no points whatsoever. So Chilwell's definitely on the far end line. Burn, he missed the game from Newcastle through illness, so I'm hoping that he'll be back. But again, we will just have to wait and see for the press conference. It's not an injury, so whatever happens, he's going to stay in the side. Obviously, it's a great fixture at home to Sheffield United, so I want to keep him in for that one. So I do have issues in defence. Burn will stay. Do I play Chilwell instead of Estepinian? Do you know what? I could. I might end up doing that. But Estepinian is just so good going forward. He's got so many points, not from clean sheets, but just attacking returns. Moving into my midfield, do have issues in terms of Saka. Now, he's got this great fixture against Bournemouth, but they also have the Champions League coming up. They've got the Manchester City game coming up. So are they really going to be risking him away at Bournemouth? I think he is such an integral part of the side. If he's fit, he would play. But I think Arteta would have to be convinced that he's absolutely fit. So if he's not fit, with the fixtures turning for Arsenal, I don't think I'm going to want to keep him longer term. So if we get any news that he has not been in training, he's not likely to make the starting 11, then I think he would have to come out. Sterling, in an ideal world, and I'd have no other issues, I think Sterling may be one I'd look to get rid of. But away at Fulham still feels like a decent fixture. So I don't know. For now, I'm just going to happy to keep him. Matoma away at Villa, he's got to stay as well. He's been brilliant. And Foden, with the minutes rested in midweek, hopefully he keeps his place in that midfield, and he is against Wolves, which is a decent fixture. And up front, I've got Haaland and Alvarez, and Jackson obviously is unavailable. So I have issues. There is potentially, if Chilwell doesn't make it, Burns still out and Saka's out, I'm playing Udogie, and I haven't got enough players to actually fulfil my 11, even though the fixtures look decent. Now, I've only got one transfer, because suddenly I've been, none of these players were a risk before going, even at the end of game week 6 really. Chilwell's place probably was up for grabs, but Gusto, with his suspension, you'd hope Chilwell would suddenly become more available. So I have issues. There's one or two things that I could do. Haaland would definitely get the captaincy armband. I don't see any reason not to go for him on that. I could look to take out Chilwell because he's got a decent fixture against Burnley, but if it's a hamstring problem, we get news that he's not going to make this weekend, I think I'm just going to get rid of him. The fixtures turn later on. After Brentford, I think something like Newcastle, Liverpool, the fixtures are not good. This is the end of their good run of fixtures. So he would come out and Botman come in, but Botman's not straightforward either. He had knee issues apparently, which is why he missed midweek game. So again, I'd still have to wait for his some news on him before putting him in the side. If he doesn't make it, I haven't got enough to good money to go up to Trippier, so I'd have to look at a different alternative. If Chilwell wasn't fit, I think I'd have to play Udogie. And if Botman was a doubt, then I would look then to take out Saka, I think. I've still got Odegaard for that fixture, but I don't want really keep two Arsenal players for Man City at home, Chelsea away, and Sheffield United at home is a good fixture, but again, I think they've got a difficult one after that. And the other one, I'm looking at Newcastle here heavily. I think Gordon looks like a great shout, 5.6. It would give me 3 million to play with. But the bad news is for me, I just can't get following week any transfer that even moves me up to Salah. I just can't do it, which possibly would save me wild card. I'm just not going to be able to do it unless I absolutely downgrade to a 4.5, which I could look at. But then I'm struggling to get players out, so I don't think I've got that luxury. But Gordon's underlying stats look good, so he could come in. He got arrested midweek, so that bodes well. The last one, which feels like an obvious move, is Jackson. We jettison him. He's got Wolves. Those aren't his fixtures, but he would come out, and Morris would come in away at. And it saves me some money, and then I'll just end up wildcarding in game week 9 or 10, depending on the availability of other players. That's it for this one then, guys. Let me know in the comments below who you are captaining for game week 7. Are you considering anyone else other than Haaland? And who are you bringing in? Or are you just going to roll your transfer? We'll come back at you over the weekend. I'm going to release a wildcard for game week 8. We'll have team selection, watch list, all that sort of good stuff. So make sure you hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe. And good luck. We'll see you on the other side.